Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be looking at a band called Aldious. Aldious? Yeah. And never heard of them before, so I had to look up a little bit of information, and it turns out that Aldious is a Japanese all-female power metal band from Osaka that was formed in 2008, formed by guitarist Yoshi and vocalist Rami. After a few member changes, they released their debut EP, Dear Slave, the following year, and soon after formed their own record label, Bright Star Records. So, you know, doing quite a lot in a very short amount of time. Their first album, Deep Exceed, in 2010, reached the top 15 on the Oricon chart, as did their second album, Determination. However, founding member Rami announced that she was going to be leaving the group in 2012, and new vocalist Ri No joined Aldious just 1 month later. They produced their third album, District Zero, in 2013, and it became their highest charting release to date, reaching number 7. The fourth album, Dazed and Delight, in 2014 peaked at number 20, and their fifth, Radiant A, was released on December 2015, and that was their first album on the VAA record label, Village Again Association, apparently, and their first release in Europe. After one more album, Unlimited Diffusions, in 2017, Ri No left the band at the end of 2018 and was replaced by Rin in August of 2019. Aldious have been labelled pioneers of the girl metal band boom that began in Japan in the early 2010s. So there you go. A lot of information there. So, an all-female power metal band from Osaka, Japan could be quite interesting. And we're going to be looking at a track today called Dominator. And I do have lyrics here. I actually have them in kanji, romaji, and the English translation. So it's a bit overkill here. I'm not sure how accurate the translation is going to be. I'll just preface this with that, because, you know, very often when I read some lyrics for songs, they appear to be wrong. Some translations I've read have been hideously wrong. So I don't know how accurate this translation is going to be, but I'm sure it might give us a rough idea of what the song is all about. So I think we'll jump to it, see what this is all about. Very curious. Let's have a look, shall we? So, Dominator by Aldious. Let's have a look. I'm going to pause that for a minute because there's a couple of things here. I don't actually necessarily think that this qualifies. Well, I wouldn't have said this was power metal, and I can't say it doesn't qualify as power metal because, well, it might do. But to me, this doesn't sound very power metal, although this is just one example of their work, you know, but their other stuff could sound a lot more power metal-esque. You know, with it, with me trying to read a translation, this is quite hard to keep up with where the lyrics are at the moment. But the song itself seems to be about, well, it's about a romance, a relationship that is, it's either going bad or they're expecting it to go bad, but they're still wanting it to continue. Maybe, I'm not really sure. So the lyrics so far say, penetrating the dry throat, bearing the crimson spell. In the darkness I immerse myself and hover, love doesn't seem to wake up. The voice of you feeling confused in my eardrums, it hovers, the uneasiness I intertwine with. If there's no love, then move away these trembling hands. No, then move away these trembling hands. At this stage, I realise it's an unreturned love. The instinct to attack right away I constrain, for this is the love to the degree of wanting to drink all of you. So, I mean, there's a couple of lines in there. If there is no love, then move away these trembling hands. You know, if you've got no love for me, then, you know, keep away, keep your hands to yourself, you know. I don't know. But there's just, it's quite confusing. I mean, there's a line there as well. At this stage, I realise it's an unreturned love. So, she loves somebody and they don't love her back and she realises this, but she still wants them. I'm not sure. It's quite confusing. The song carries on. The moonlight shedding through the leaves I gaze at, the pain of my chest which starts to be riotous. Before the sun shows its face, I want to suck all of you. The uneasiness increases. Pave bunches of red roses that match my beauty, please kiss me in bed. The emotions about to come alive I kill, for this is the love to the degree of wanting to drink all of you. So it sounds like someone that is absolutely obsessed with someone who doesn't love them back. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, let's carry on and see where this goes. Well, there you go, Dominator by Aldious. Um, really not quite sure what to make of that. I mean, exceptionally talented musicians, very, very well done. That woman's voice is amazing. Um, there was a very strange note right at the end there. It was like wavering up and down all over the place. It sounded really cool, but it was very strange. Um, like I said before, I wouldn't necessarily call this power metal. I can see kind of where the idea of it being power metal comes from, because some of the music itself does sound sort of power metal-esque. I wouldn't necessarily say it was power metal, but again, this is only one track. For all I know, the rest of their material could sound very, very power metal. I don't know. I just don't think I would have classified this as power metal myself. That's just me, though. Excuse me. Wow. Now, the song carried on. Like this, every single thing of you, I can't help adoring it so much. The uneasiness I stabilise. Someday, even if there's no love, I will sniff out your trembling shadow, so that you and I can become one. If there's no love, then move away these trembling hands. At this stage, I realise it's an unreturned love. The instinct to attack right away I follow, for this is the love to the degree of wanting to drink all of you. So there was a slight difference in the chorus right at the end there. Because before it said, the instinct to attack right away I constrain, but this time it's I follow. So it sounds like, it even possibly sounds like a song about a stalker, because it sounds like someone who is so obsessed with this person, who is so in love with them, that they don't care if it's an unrequited love. They want this person, they want to have them in their life, and, you know, they are going to be with this person regardless. That's what it sounds like. It's a very interestingly written song. I mean, if the translation is accurate to the way, you know, to what the Japanese lyrics actually say, it's a very interestingly written song, and the imagery they've used in the words is really quite interesting and quite clever. But I find this a lot with a lot of Japanese music. I do own quite a lot of Japanese music in my library, and the way they word their songs, it's phenomenal. You'd never hear any structure like it in Western music. Excuse me. You know, just some of the way, just the way they word certain things. I mean, there's like that line there: "Pave bunches of red roses that match my beauty." You know, you don't really hear phrases like that in, you know, European music, or, you know, American music. You know, non-Asian music, should I say? I don't want that to sound racist or anything, but, you know, the way that they, you know, the phrases that they use in songs, it's really very, very, very interesting. I like the way they do it, and, you know, but it illustrates the point very, very well in a very unusual way. I quite liked that. You know, there's the risk of saying it sounded like an intro to an anime sort of thing, but then why wouldn't it? I mean, it's Japanese music, and a lot of animes use Japanese heavy metal tracks as their intro music, so, you know, it would be a bad thing to say that, but there is a certain element to it. But like I said, she's got a great voice, the musicianship is fantastic, and I have to say, that bassist is possibly the happiest person I've ever seen on a stage. I mean, that smile, you know, was just ridiculous. Plus the fact, did you hear that sort of small bass solo? It sounded gorgeous. Yeah, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. It was something different. I would probably like to hear something else of theirs as well, because, like I say, you know, this is only one example of their work. And, you know, I never like to draw a full opinion of a band on just one example of the work. I mean, it was still very, very good, very enjoyable, very upbeat, and very happy in its own way, even though the subject matter of the song might not be as happy and upbeat as the music sort of feels. But yes, very interesting. I would be interested in definitely hearing some more. So there we go. Not sure what else I can say about that. So I'll leave that as it is. If anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me through my Facebook or my Instagram, or you could even message me through my Patreon, where you could also help to support this channel, to help me create future content, help me maybe even improve the quality of the future content. Do know though, if you do make a suggestion, it might take me a while to get around to it, because I get suggested so many new tracks every single day that my list grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so it will get done eventually. It's just going to take me a while to get around to it. Also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, specifically those aimed at people of the alternative culture. It's something that I very strongly believe in, something I'm very, very passionate about, because, you know, all over the world, every single day, people are getting violently attacked and, you know, brutally beaten just because of the music that they listen to, you know. And it's unacceptable, because people are getting so severely hurt. People are getting hospitalised. You know, they're getting brutally beaten and hospitalised just because they listen to alternative music, and it's unacceptable, you know. For years, I've had to put up with being violently attacked and verbally and physically abused just because I listen to alternative music. Many of my friends have as well, and I know some of you watching have also been through a similar sort of thing. But it doesn't get the attention it needs, and when it comes to a point when a young woman and her boyfriend are violently, viciously attacked by a group of people just because of the way that they're dressed and the music that they listen to, and they are so badly beaten that both of them end up in comas, it's gone far beyond ridiculous. But when it turns out that that young woman ends up dying from her injuries, she's beaten so badly that she's in a coma for 13 days and is essentially brain dead because she was beaten so violently by this group of people. You know, there's two of them against a group of 5 or 6 people who are just kicking them, stamping on them so violently that it kills them. You know, that girl died. She was murdered, essentially, just because she listened to alternative music. And the thing is, it doesn't get enough attention. It needs more attention shining on it. Something needs to be done to stop it. You know, we can't allow this sort of thing to happen again. You know, it's happened many, many times before, but no one's ever noticed because no one says anything about it. You know, but, you know, so many people have been hospitalised or even killed just because they like alternative music. And that's the only reason behind it. Is just because they stand out, because they're different, because they are an individual rather than being a sheep and following the masses. You know, they want to be who they want to be. They don't want to be who society dictates they should be. You know, and, you know, persecuting someone for that fact is unacceptable, and it needs to stop. And we cannot allow this sort of behaviour to keep happening. We cannot allow people to get so violently attacked that they end up dying from their injuries just because of their taste in music. It's unacceptable, and it needs to stop. And this is exactly what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to put a stop to this. They want to bring more attention to this. You know, they want to... They don't want any other family to have to go through what they went through when they had to watch their daughter Sophie Lancaster slowly die over the course of 2 weeks because of a group of intolerant morons just can't accept the fact that not everybody is the same. You know, nobody should have to see their child die, and they most certainly shouldn't have to bury their child after they've been so brutally and violently beaten to death just because of their taste in music. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, and sort of find out what their goal is, because they can explain it a lot better than I can. And, you know, if you can help them out in any small way, you know, a small donation, or even just picking up something like one of these small wristbands off their web store, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we can put an end to the violence and the hatred, and we can stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. 私にあった赤いバラのあなたの